60 miles per gallon. My average so far over 5.1 miles has gone up to 50. Clarkson is to average 44.7 miles.
You get 7 points.
Why does it say 1 + 2 = 2 when clearly...
No, yeah, well, no, you only pick the best one. If we were doing 3, we'd pick the best 2.
3 what?
3 of your points from the heats.
Hey?
Happily, Captain Maths was on hand to explain that in short, we'd all take part in 2 heats and at least 1 final.
There it is, 17.8 mpg. Oh, my fuel lights come on. Oh, yeah.
I'm doing 21 miles to the gallon. I'm not doing well enough.
This has got 691 of them, which in Top Gear maths is 700.
I've just done something and I don't know what it was.
As it turned out, what I'd done is go way too fast, which meant Dran had to do yet more sums.
Maths. Can't talk to him, he's literally sitting a maths exam. But I bet the conversation in the bar at night is fun. I did more maths than you today. No, you didn't. I did more maths than you.
Bear with me on this, because I've been doing some maths.
What?
Methane is 23 times more powerful than carbon dioxide, OK, as a global warming agent, yeah? So that means a cow does more global warming than a Range Rover. Honestly, a Range Rover 10,000 miles a year produces less in a day than a cow farting. So something's got to give.
Yeah.
Cows are cars.
Yeah.
Got to be cows.
No, I think we get rid of the cows and we keep the cars.
No, we've got to get rid of the cars.
No, we get rid of the
No,
cows.
I'm not. No, look, milk, I can't do without that. Shoes,
You get cheese, I suppose.
burgers.
Yes.
Not eggs, no, James. You live in...
There's a man who lives in Hammersmith.
No, you're wrong. Eggs come from the milkman.
Yeah, but the milkman doesn't lay them. See, I think this is one of these windy-up cars, right? So I won't even cheat. Ready? See? You see? Have I just solved road safety? Apart from the big cliff.
I think, do you know, actually, technically you're right about that. The only...
Backing from Captain Maths.
No, but the only slight drawback is on full-size cars you would need extremely large magnets.
Yes, get extremely large.
No, listen,
What?
you haven't thought this through, because at some point there'll be, look, here's a car parked at the traffic lights waiting, and you'll come up behind to the other end of his magnet.
Yeah, brake.
And, well, that's his north pole. You're going to have a crash, because whether you brake or not...
Oh,
you'll
the
just be,
south... No,
you'll
that's
be
the south
pulled in
pole.
south to north, bang, you're going to have a crash, it'll all be... utterly hopeless.
Hammond,
Yeah.
to stop the train, we pull the chain.
Yeah.
But there's a fine of 1,000 rupees. That's about 13 quid.
£13. I mean, I ain't got that sort of money.
I'm not paying 13 quid.
No.
How much is 15 million dong?
Just about 1,000 US dollar.
It is a bit stiff.
Yeah, just why don't you tell the ladies and gentlemen how many laps of our track you managed in it before the rear tyres were down to the canvas?
It's a very pretty girl over there. Have you seen?
How many laps did you manage of our track before the rear tyres were lunged?
4.
How many?
4.
4. 4 laps of the track. Now, that adds up to 6.8 miles. That works out at £85 a mile just in tyres to run this car.
Yes.
Well done. And that is a useful piece of consumer advice. Oh, well done. No, but seriously, that Ferrari, did it really do 1.7 mpg?
Well, there might have been a bit of fuel left in its pipes, but you'd be amazed how thirsty those things are when you really thrash them. It's incredible.
1.7 miles means £3.23 a mile just in petrol.
Yes.
And the price for all this VXR-ishness? Just over £30,000, which in Top Gear maths, where we tend to sort of round things up a bit, makes it actually pretty good value. Half as long again, and I've worked out my good laps, of which I've done maybe 2, were sort of 4 seconds off the pace, but quite a few of my slightly cocked up ones were sort of 8 to 9 seconds off. So in a 6-lap race...
6-lap race,
yeah,
8 seconds, that's 48 seconds, and it's a 50
it's a 50-second lap. It could be very, very close. This will be quite close.
This is the test.
And in its short life, the moon buggy covered just 56 miles, which in Top Gear maths works out at about £500,000 per mile. Now, we have done a small amount of maths here. This is proper maths, not Top Gear maths, and we worked out that if every car in Britain could park like that and didn't have to leave a gap at each end, we'd save, wait for it, 10,000 miles of parking space.
There you go, Paris, 275 kilometres, so they are 275 kilometres in front of me. It's only got a 50-litre fuel tank. A 50-litre? What's the point of a 50-litre fuel tank? So I'm doing the maths. 50 litres, that's about 14 miles to the gallon, which means I'll have to stop every 140 miles.
Oh, this is impossible.
James decided that rather than do the test again, he'd show his car was the fastest using maths.
It's this simple. I've got a crib sheet of all the facts, okay? Yours weighs almost twice as much as mine.
Yes.
Okay?
Hang on.
Listen, on paper, the Viper is the fastest.
Yes, on paper, but Hammond, on tarmac. Mine was the... It just was.
Where the water will be.
The water will just simply, what's the word we're looking for? Come through there.
And you'll sink before you put your bit
What,
of
the
wood in.
water?
Because I've calculated it.
What's
Using
a
Archimedes,
spinnaker?
when a body is wholly or partially immersed in a fluid, it experiences an upthrust equal in magnitude to the mass of the fluid displaced.
You know what, though? I'm doing maths here. One of us is going to be killed doing this, obviously, yes?
I'd say so, yeah.
So when we were all here, 33% chance. Now I'm doing it with a 50% chance.
I mean, now you're doing it.
Well, I'm going next.
Well, I can go next.
You can't go
Why are you
next.
going next? Why can't I?
That isn't going to work.
It is. I've done a calculation, roughly.
Maths, James, has no bearing on the sea.
Of course it does.
Do you think it'll work?
No, not really.
A Honda Civic, for instance, if you get 36 miles to the gallon normally, you turn the aircon on, that drops to 30 miles to the gallon. You lose 6 mpg.
Yes, I know, but the shop where I went didn't have back to front ambulance lettering.
Yes, and as a result of that, you are now on exactly minus 1,000.
Yes, you are.
That's incredible.
Absolutely remarkable.
Incredible maths, but there we are.